Welcome everybody, I'm Katya Campbell. Let's get started. So please come up into a standing position, separate your feet below your hips. We're going to start with some joint mobilizations, starting with the wrists. So hands out in front. Let's begin with 4 rotations with our hands. 1 direction and then 4 in the opposite direction. Good. Same thing with our elbows now. 4 and then 4. Good. Moving into the shoulders now, rolling 4 times backwards. As you do that, keeping the rest of the body fairly stable. And now let's go 4 forwards. Good. Hands can either clasp behind your back now, or you can reach back and clasp the opposite arm's elbow. So we're going to take the right ear towards the right shoulder, and then half circle your head down through the middle to the opposite shoulder. Half circle your head down through the middle to the opposite. 1 more each direction. All the way back up into neutral. Release your arms down by your sides. Hands onto your hips. Let's widen our feet up a little bit. Start with some hip circles. 4 in one direction. Good. And let's do 4 in the opposite direction. As you do this, head is stable and hips are moving. 1 more. That's it. Good. Bring your feet right together now. Hands onto the knees, and we're just going to circle the knees 4 times. Good. Opposite direction. Let's move on to our ankles. Taking 1 foot, you can balance up onto the tippy toes. 4 rotations. Opposite direction. Other side. Good. Opposite direction. We're just getting that synovial fluid flowing throughout the joints. Let's bring our hands back into our hip width stance, so right below the hips. And from here, let's find our neutral spine. So if we bring one hand onto our lower back as sort of a point of reference so that we're not getting overly arched in that lower back. So we're going to have a nice neutral curve to our lower spine. And you can even bring a hand to the front of the body here, just below your belly button, and think about drawing up through the pelvic floor and pulling the belly button towards the spine. And it shouldn't be a major gripping, it's just a very light activation. So as you engage the pelvic floor, draw belly button to spine, it's like these 2 points are moving towards one another slightly. And then from here, rather than having the head forward, let's draw the head into a neutral position so that our ears are now balanced over our shoulders. Our shoulders are balanced over top of our hips, and ideally our hips now are balanced over top of the ankles. Once we've found that position and anchored with our hands, let's bring our hands down to the sides. Rolling the shoulders back and down, we can take our fingertips to the top of the shoulders and just palpate them a little bit to make sure that the shoulders haven't crawled up to the ears. So if we go up, back, and then down, feeling a little bit of engagement between the shoulder blades. Eyes are forward, head is neutral. Let's have a big, full, deep breath here. In through the nose, out through the nose. Good. So as we move throughout the rest of this routine, let's come back and continually find this neutral spine, and that's going to be our point of reference and moving from. Okay, so for our next one, what we're going to be doing here is just creating a slightly deeper neck stretch. So what we can do here is we're going to be drawing our head over to one side. Now, as you draw the head to one side, what I'd like you to do is take your hand onto what's called the SCM, this large kind of sticky outy tendon here. You bring your hand onto it and just slowly track down. Good. And you can even do this in motion. So hand onto the SCM, track and tip. As you draw the hands down. Let's try one more. Hand onto the top, inhale, exhale, track it down, drop the head to the side. Good. Let's move to the other side. We'll do one without the hands. So inhale, neutral spine, exhale, head dropping over. Bring it all the way back up. You can incorporate the hand now, opposite hand, attaching to the top of that SCM. Inhale, exhale, drop and track the fingers down. Good. Bring it back up. Inhale. Exhale all the way down as you drag the fingers down. It's like you're scraping down that tendon all the way back up and down. Good, making sure there's that light engagement through your lower belly and your transverse abdominals and all the way back up. Good, okay, so now from here, we'll bring our hands, and what we want to do is be able to clasp our hands here behind the lower back. So clasping the hands behind the lower back, inhale, and as you exhale, draw chin towards your chest. Let's do that again. Inhale up. Exhale, draw chin to chest, keeping the chest elevated. Let's have 2 deep breaths here. Holding it here, breathing. One more. Good. Slowly come all the way up. Pull those shoulders back a little bit more, exaggerating that. Plug those hands down, and let's just look up a little bit as we open up our chest. Have a big, full, deep breath here. No strain in the neck, relaxing the jaw. Big exhale. Good. All the way back to center. Let's release our hands now down to our sides. From here, we're going to take our right arm all the way up. It's like you're going to reach to the sky, get long, then bend the elbow and bring the hand back like you're going to pat yourself on the upper back. Opposite hand will travel up, clasp a hold of that elbow, and let's track the elbow back behind your head as the fingertips move down along the spine. Now, as you do this, we want to make sure we're not collapsing through the front of the body, so maintaining that neutral head carriage, drawing the head back, drawing the ribs and belly in, lengthening the tailbone down. Big breath here. If you'd like to intensify this, we could even incorporate a bit of a side bend to one side. And then all the way back up, release and release. Let's take the opposite arm up. Reach it up nice and tall. Bend through the elbow, planting the hand to pat yourself on your upper back. Opposite hand tracks up, grabs a hold of the elbow, and brings it back across the body while maintaining that neutral head carriage. Nice big inhale. As you exhale, draw the elbow towards the center line of the body. If you'd like to incorporate a side bend, you can. And all the way up, and slowly release the arms all the way down. Okay, so from here, you guys still keeping your feet planted directly below your hips. We're going to create a slight pelvic tilt, drawing those hips back, so maintaining that neutral spine, no hunch back as we go into this. Our hands will plant on top of the thighs, so we've got a nice stable position here. Inhale with a neutral spine. Now, as you exhale, think about lifting up through the shoulder blades as you create some space through the shoulders. Look towards your belly button. And then as you inhale, let's draw the spine into the body and look forward. Exhale, roll back. Lift through the shoulders. Scoop the tailbone. Inhale, draw the tailbone back, open up the chest. One more. Exhale, roll back. Inhale, draw it into the body, the spine lengthening, the chest open. Exhale all the way up to standing and back, creating that neutral spine. From here, we're going to create a slight twist. So we're going to take one hand towards the front of the body, and the opposite hand will track behind the body. So as the hands track on either side of the body here, we'll use those hands to help create the twist. So let's inhale, lengthen up tall. And as you exhale, think about it's like you're pulling across the body as you gently look over that shoulder. So front hand is pulling towards you. Back hand is tracking back as you open up the rib cage and chest. Nice full breath here. Fill up into the space between the hands. One more breath. Good. Slowly release. Let's switch. Front hand comes across, crosses to the outside of the rib cage. Back hand comes all the way back. The hand can wrap around the back of the ribs here. Inhale, tall, neutral spine. Exhale, slowly draw that shoulder back. As you look over the shoulder, you can pull slightly with that front hand, helping to track yourself across. Nice big breath. Fill up that space between the hands like you're opening your ribs like an accordion. Exhale, slowly release all the way back. Good. Okay, so from here, we're going to kick one foot forward, balance onto the heel, and pull the toes up towards you. Hands onto the hips, inhale. As you exhale, slowly begin to come forward. Now, for some of us, this may be enough. If you can reach down and touch the toe, if you have that flexibility, you can, and draw the toes towards the body, getting that deep stretch through the Achilles and through the calf. Nice big inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, rise up. Good. Let's switch. Opposite leg forward, balance onto the heel, pull it up. Inhale, hands on the hip. Exhale, tip through the pelvis, neutral spine, all the way down. If you have that flexibility, you can reach down and grab a hold of the foot, pulling the toes towards you. Big breath into the back of your leg. Good. Release. Come all the way up. We'll take our opposite leg forward again this time, but keep the foot planted. Hands can come onto the hips as a reminder to keep that pelvis squared. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly begin to come forward. Contract your hands down along your shin, keeping that nice neutral spine. Feeling that stretch now in through the back of your front leg thigh, so into the hamstrings of that right thigh. Inhale. Exhale, slowly rise all the way up. Switch. Let's take our opposite leg forward. Hands on the hips. Inhale, neutral spine. Exhale, slowly tipping the pelvis forward, bringing your hands to support you on the front of the leg. Big breath here. Exhale, slowly come all the way back up and step it back. Now you may need something for balance for this one, so if you want your hand on your desk, you can do that. Hand onto whatever surface you need. Let's bend through the left knee. We'll reach our left hand back to take a hold of the foot. Now if that doesn't feel accessible to you, you can always grab a pant leg if you have one and it's accessible. So from here, let's try and line our knees up so that this knee isn't kicking forward, it's tracking back. Then we can slightly tuck our tailbone under, creating a pelvic tilt. Draw belly button up, squeezing through the hips. Big full breath here. And release. Let's take that to the opposite side. Hand to balance. We can bend through the right leg, reach back, grab a hold of the foot. Let's try and align the knees as we scoop that tailbone under and draw the pelvic floor up and in. Nice full breath here. And slowly release. Okay, so from here, we're going to be taking our right leg forward and our left leg back. Now, balancing lightly on that front leg will slowly begin to create a bend through that front knee. So we're dropping down through our back knee. And we're going to take our left hand and reach that left hand up and over to the right, trying to get into our psoas. And when we're sitting for long periods of time, the psoas can become very tight along with the front of our quad and into the hip crease here. So we're just trying to elongate through that hip into that lower belly area. Big breath. Good. Bring it down and step that leg back. Now let's take left leg forward, right leg back. Bend through the front knee. Drop through the back knee straight down. Scoop that tailbone under, creating that pelvic tilt. And then reaching the right arm all the way up and a little bit over towards the left. Nice full breath here. Good. Release and come all the way up. Okay, the final one that we're going to do is just a simple figure 4 stretch. So coming down into a seated position, we'll cross now our left foot on top of our right thigh. A little bit of flexion here. We can hold on to the front of our left shin. Inhale, open up the chest. And as you exhale, let's slowly begin to come forward. Now, for some of us, just having the leg up here may be enough of a stretch. If you have that mobility, you can begin to lean into this. But just making sure that there's no pain in the knee. We should be feeling this through the hip and into the glute on that left side. Good. All the way back up. We'll release that leg down, opposite leg up, flexing the foot. Sit up nice and tall with that neutral spine, inhale. And as you exhale, if it's appropriate for you, begin to tip forward. Good, and slowly release. Have a wonderful day, everybody.